create a new part. Before you start modeling, make sure that it says mmgs in the lower right hand corner. Right now mine says IPS, that's inches. We want to make this part in millimeters, so you have to choose the option mmgs. We're going to start a new sketch, and we'll sketch on the top plane. We'll start with a rectangle. Corner rectangle is fine. Always have one corner of your rectangle on the origin here. So click, make a rectangle. Use the Smart Dimension tool to make it 8 by 15.8. Exit your sketch. We now need to make this into a block, so go to Features, Extruded Boss Base, and this needs to be 9.6 millimeters tall. Now we have our block. We need to shell this, so rotate your model so that you can see the bottom of it. That's the bottom. Use the shell command. Click that bottom face, and the shell thickness is 1.6 millimeters. And you can see there's now been shelled. Rotate your model again so you can see the top face, and if you click on the top face and choose the sketch option, we're going to make a new sketch on this face. We'd like to be able to see the face straight on, so hold Control and press 8. Now we're looking straight on that face. Go to your Sketch tab and choose the Circle tool. And just put 2 circles on the face. We'll now size them so they're the correct size. So use the Smart Dimension tool. Click on both circles and make them 4.9 millimeters in diameter. Again, that's 4.9 millimeters. They need to be 8 millimeters apart. So in order to make that happen, you have to click the first center and the second center and change whatever dimension it is to 8. Each circle needs to be 3.9 millimeters from the left and right edge. So click the center of the circle, the left edge, and type 3.9. Do the same thing on the other side. It should be forced by default to be 3.9. If you get that error, that's okay, just click cancel. And then they need to be 4 millimeters from the top and from the bottom. So click the center of the circle again, the top edge, and make those 4 millimeters. And just check that the other one is also 4. It's not, so change it to 4. Alright, and now we can exit this sketch. We're now going to take those 2 circles and extrude them. So before I click extrude, I'm going to click both circles. You have to hold Control down and click to select both of them. And go to the Features tab, Extruded Boss Base, and we'll make these 1.8 millimeters tall. And now it's really starting to look like a Lego. The only other things that we need to create are some holes on the bottom. So we'll rotate our model so that we can see the underside of the Lego. And one other thing we want to do is we want to use those circles that we just sketched as reference for this new sketch. So under the Boss Extrude 2 tab, you should see something called Sketch 2. If you right click that and choose the eyeglasses that say Show, it'll make the sketch show up. We want to do that. So Show, and you can now see that those circles have appeared on our model. We're going to make a new sketch on this underside face. We're going to use the centers of those circles as references. So click the circle tool and then go to each of those pre-existing centers and make circles. These should be diameter 2.6. So use the Smart Dimension tool. 2.6. Exit your sketch. And now we're going to cut those a little bit. So Features, Extruded Cut. And you can see that those circles that we just made have been pre-selected. The depth of the cut is 1.7 millimeters. And you can see that there's a little bit of a cut that's occurred. The last piece that we need is the post that goes in the middle of the underside of a Lego block. So we will click on that same face that we were just sketching on. That's the underside face. And we'll sketch again, a new sketch. And we need a circle. So we'll just make a generic circle here. It is diameter 3. It needs to be 4 millimeters from the top and the bottom, and it needs to be 7.9 millimeters from the left and the right. So click the center of the circle, the bottom, and make the dimension 4. And then click the center of the circle and the right and make that dimension 7.9. Exit your sketch. Go to the Features tab, Extruded Boss Base, and that circle that we just made has been pre-selected. We're going to choose a new type of extrusion now. Instead of telling it how long to extrude, we're going to say extrude it until it stops at this surface. So where it says blind, choose the drop-down menu and choose up to surface, and then click on the surface that you want it to stop at, which is the bottom of the Lego. And then click the green check mark. And you can see that it stops right where this surface begins. The last step is to shell this post. So if you click shell and then click that face, we're going to shell it 0.5 millimeters. And there you have it. Before we finish, let's change the material. So right click, Material, Edit Material, and scroll down until you can see Plastics. Choose the plus sign by Plastics and choose ABS, which should be the first option, and click Apply and then Close. And you can see that your Lego block has changed color. It's now white when it used to be gray. So save your work. Save it as your last name, Bugner _ 2x block.